Hello guys, welcome back to the Spicy Sweet Design channel, and this is going to be a review on the Earnestcore Craft Robot Build RB-09 RONIN. You see my previous video, the Old Man New Toys video when I did unboxing on this. So evidently this is a new figure, it wasn't used. So yeah, the customer got a super good deal on it. In fact, my friend Rob, who just came by to take a look at this figure before I ship it out. I was getting ready to pack it up. Well, I was about to do the review, pack it up, and then ship it out to the guy. But anyway, yeah, Rob is actually interested in selling these. I don't think my friend Alex is interested in doing these because he think like, trying to get these from China is probably just going to be too much of an issue. Rob has got in contact with a distributor who can get him these at a reasonable price. So yeah, it's better to get these directly from China than to try to source them from Japan, because it's like exported twice. It went to Japan, and then Japan has a distributor, and then the Japanese distributor trying to distribute to the US. It's gonna be like $80 when you can get something like this directly from China at wholesale price of maybe like $15 to $20. That's it. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool, but I don't know how many people are actually interested because it's not tied to any brand. The design is very Hexagear inspired, Kotobukiya. That's why I made that whole joke in the thumbnail in the Old Man New Toys episode. It's like the Galgoose like, hey, get this Kotobukiya thing out of here. I'm not from Kotobukiya. The nice thing about this line is that the robot build line, the whole figures can be completely disassembled. As you can see right here with the manual, all these parts can be taken apart individually and reassembled with other figures in this line. So you can create like, whatever you want. Yeah, they don't give you specific instructions on how to build your robot. So you can just build whatever you want using the existing parts. Everything comes apart. The joints are pretty tight. Well, like out of the box. I can guarantee that it's going to be tight if you continue to disassemble this thing. I mean, to be honest, if you just have one figure like this, I cannot see you like, trying to like disassemble this or reassemble it or whatever, I think for the most part you're probably just going to keep it by itself. So yeah, unless you have like 10 different figures and you want to mix and match parts, then yeah, that might be a problem. But all the joint problems, the pegs, all that can be fixed. You can use paint, or you can use glue, or you can use polyurethane floor polish. Yeah, so anyway, what's nice about this figure, at least for me, is that the figure is primarily made of ABS plastic, kind of like Robot Spirits figure, SH Figure Arts, and only the hands are plasticized. So that's a big bonus. Nowadays, I despise figures that are primarily made of plasticized PVC. I think it's ridiculous. I can go on and on about, plasticizers and stuff like that. The figure doesn't need to be freaking plasticized. It can be all just hard plastic. Why do people need to be exposed to like plasticizers for a product that is, is a luxury product, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense. At least with like these Chinese companies, and Japanese companies, they have the common sense of only plasticizing stuff that needs to be plasticized, like the hand, because it needs to hold accessories, and maybe these parts right here that can that are sharp and can break, and that's it. You don't have to freaking plasticize the whole freaking action figure. All right, so anyway, with that out of the way, I know a lot of people criticize me for doing that. I'm gonna talk about this subject forever until I see a change in the industry, until somebody hears my criticism about this whole issue and decided, maybe we don't need to plasticize the whole freaking figure. Endocrine disruptors is not a joke. All right, so anyway, with this product, you have 4 sets of different option hands. You have the open hands. You got one set of these straight type accessory hands, I guess, and then we get the angle version, which is attached right here. I'll show you guys how that works, and then we also have the closed fist. Now we also get 2 more sets of these blades or whatever. You get the chainsaw one, you get the one that looked like a heat sabers thing, from like Xeon. You know, the thing is, you know, all these robot mecha properties, they all of them borrow something from each other. So, you know, we can't really criticize like, oh, that's a ripoff of Kotobukiya, that's a ripoff Bandai. You know, it is what it is, man. Retail price for this item, I believe, is, you know, anywhere between, apparently you can get it as cheap as $40 in China. I think that's probably the cheapest I've heard so far. And then in Japan, you can get it for $60. If you're importing it, I sold this thing for $105. So, yeah, hey, good luck. So, anyway, yeah, because my cost on this item, I bought this off Nino for $55 today. So, I can resell it to flip it, of course. So, yeah, obviously this figure was released in 2020, made in China. And then we have all the information. So, this one was actually imported to Japan, because you can see the Japanese distributor information, but it is technically it's a Chinese product for the Chinese market. It doesn't. I don't think there's actually any property tied to it. It's just a robot build. You take this robot and do whatever you want with it, and that's it. So we have the instruction here, show you how to assemble and disassemble this guy and all the parts. All right, so I'm gonna try to make this thing quick, you know, because I spent like 20 minutes talking about bullshit and old man new toys. So we got this thing. I think they tried to do the more, like, you know, trying to appeal to model kit collectors by making something like this. Obviously, this is a runner with the parts in it, right? This thing is made of ABS plastic, not from polystyrene, so it's very durable, like Robot Spirits or SH Figures, not like model kits like Gunpla and stuff like that. All ABS construction. Hands are plasticized, probably plasticized PVC. And these parts right here, I think these are plasticized polystyrene, not PVC, because they're a bit more rigid. So, all right. So anyway, let me just show you guys how these angle hands work. So I'm gonna show you this one right here. These accessory hands. It can stand very well. I'm just not doing a very good job, so I'm going to prop that against that. So basically what you do is you take this thing apart like so, and then you take this thing off, and then you can connect it like that. So, yeah. So you can have something like this at an angle, or you can have it straight. Yeah. I mean, it's very self-explanatory. I don't think this is like rocket science, so I'll just leave that alone. We have this very cool looking chainsaw sword thing. Very nicely made, only this part is plasticized. So, yeah, they need to do that because otherwise these things will crack and break. Now, the thing with plasticizer is eventually the plasticizer will migrate out of plastic. So, you know, maybe 10 years, 20 years down the line, these things will become hard and brittle, like those parts on model kits. And then if you're going to do things like what I'm doing now, you're going to be breaking off these teeth. So same thing with this. This is eventually the plasticizer will eventually evaporate out of the plasticized part, and this will become a hard, brittle plastic piece. And then if you bend it, you're going to snap it in half. All right. It's a natural process. It will happen. Nothing anybody can do can stop it. All right, so anyway, here we have the figure by itself. It stands at about 6 1/4 inches tall. Yeah, you can use this with your, I guess, with your Gunpla. You can use it with, you know, your kaijus, your NECA kaijus, your SH Monster Arts, maybe even some, you know, 7-inch, 6-inch action figures. You know, since it's a robot, it can work with anything. So this is something that Rob lent to me. Someone returned this figure claiming, okay, I'll do a video on this thing later. It's freaking ridiculous. More BS. All right, so anyway, we're going to go over the articulation completely this time on this figure. We're going to start from the top. The head is on a ball joint. Basically, all the articulation point on this figure, for the most part, is, you know, points that can be separated. So it has a lot of articulation because of the fact that, you know, it was designed to come apart. So you have this articulation right there. Again, these are all connection points. You got a ball joint here, like that, and then this arm is also a straight peg that goes in that ball joint. So that's another connection point. So it's very well articulated. Unfortunately, for some of the joints, like the knees and the elbows, that's the problem. It's somewhat less articulated because this is just a straight up single joint right here. So I wish you had double joints. You know, you'll probably be able to pull out better poses with double joints and stuff like that. You also have another point right here you can disconnect. Unfortunately, this cannot rotate, so that's a little bit problematic. It doesn't have bicep swivel. It doesn't have, forearm swivel. It doesn't even have elbow swivel, so it's kind of lacking there. You can rotate the wrist. You know, it's a ball joint that goes into this thing, and this thing is just a straight peg that goes inside. So yeah, the arm articulation is kind of lacking, which is a little disappointing. Yeah, again, this is rotation, but it's basically just a peg that goes in here like that. So you can rotate that a little bit. And again, all these joint segments are connection points. So if you are constantly taking apart a figure, you might run into like looseness issues and stuff like that, which can be remedied with paint or polyurethane base floor polish. Yeah, honestly, I would advise against using it. This is not something that I recommend. It's meant for the floors and not for your hands. So yeah, I definitely recommend just using paint instead of polyurethane base floor polish. As you can see, it's the ball joints are pretty stiff, so that's pretty good. And then this thing doesn't come apart very easily. And honestly, by itself, unless you have like multiple other figures, I don't see anyone who's buying like one figure who's constantly going to be taking this thing apart for like disassemble and reassembly. So yeah, unless you have more than one figure and you want to like make customs or something like that, then you have a good reason for that. The head is on a ball joint, and it's pretty good articulated. Yeah. The shoulders are very nicely articulated. The elbows are kind of janky. Ball joint for the hips, pretty good. You can put in some somewhat more dynamic poses. Unfortunately, the knees are single jointed, so there's not much articulation there. We also have a swivel here and stuff like that. The ball joint for the feet, which is okay. And yeah, I mean, you can actually, I tried to put him into some more interesting dynamic poses, and it can balance surprisingly. So it actually can balance pretty good, even on these crazy tiny feet. So that probably has more to do with the way the figure's engineered. Look at that. That's pretty good, right? Than anything. So yeah, good job to the engineer who engineered this figure. I think it can stand on one leg. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. I think it can balance on one leg. You just gotta create like a good center of mass right here. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. So yeah, since I already sold this figure, I'm not gonna mess around with it too much. I'll just tell you guys I'm not gonna disassemble it or anything. The customer is already complaining about looseness from what he's seeing on YouTube. So let's just keep this guy nice and tight as usual. And yeah, definitely a good figure. If you're paying $100 for it, well, if you're importing it, I think paying $100 for it, you don't have any choice. But if you are not importing it, then if you live in China, I guess, then you can get it for $40, and it's a pretty good, damn good figure. I'm sure we can get a better price. Whoever bought this thing, like I said, we can probably give you like credit toward The newer figures, if we get them at a reasonable price, we can sell you like other ones at a discount. But for now, this figure is all we got, and I say this one is pretty decent. It's not a perfect figure, as you know, it's not, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Overall, pretty good. So there you go. All right, so we also forgot to talk about these. We also have these articulated, these attachment ports right there. You can attach to the back ports right there. This one is actually really tight. I don't know why is it so tight. Oh, there you go. You can connect it right here, like so. Like that, and then you can attach the sword, like right there, like these ports and stuff like that. You can attach it to the arms, like so, like that, and then connect this right here, or like here, like that, whatever makes you happy. Yeah, like whatever. So there you go. That is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys find the information helpful. I don't know if we are, we'll see, how well Rob can negotiate on these things. And if we actually have people who's interested in buying these. Other than that, if people aren't really that interested, we're not really interested in taking like a risk on stuff like this. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys find the information helpful. Thanks for watching.